numbers on the left-hand side. Richmond see that and fan out. It goes on the right-hand side. Lisa Martin, it's a walk-in for Rocky Clark.
Hey rugby fans, and welcome back to the Women's Rugby Show. Bex here bringing you a top-class injection of women's rugby. Thank you of course for joining us, but I'm going to kick off today with a bit of a weird question. Do you ever consider how it might be to go back in time? Come on, think of all the things that you could say differently and think of all the things that you could do differently. I for one would probably go back to the very first episode of the Women's Rugby Show and take Adam and maybe replace him for a better presenter?
Wait, what?
You know, someone that's perhaps played top flight women's rugby, someone that's got a few international caps, someone that's got some top silverware. Basically, incredible in-depth knowledge of the game. Come on, someone like...
Hey guys, it's great to be here. We haven't quite gone back in time, it's still 2020, but we have gone back to the round 10 of the Tyrrell's Premier 15, and this is where we're going to see Saracens Women take on Richmond Women.
Okay, great. Well, let's get to it then. I wonder if I could change that bet that I put on for the winner of the England-France game if I went back in time. So we are in a bit of a weird position today, not by the fact that we're doing a league game in the middle of the Six Nations, but for the fact that we have got England legend and Harlequins player Rachel Burford reporting on some of her nearest and fiercest rivals.
Well, you better hope your analysis is pretty good then, no pressure. But look, I'll take it from the top to start with. These two teams are poles apart in terms of performances, in terms of form and position in the table. You've got Saracens sitting at the top and you've got Richmond in the bottom half. I mean, just looking at the stats this year, attacking wise, Richmond have only scored 102 points this whole season. And unfortunately, their defence isn't much better. And they're on a losing streak of 8. So they're going to have a tough ask today. But knowing Richmond, they're going to come out and give it everything.
Okay, so that can only be a good thing for Saracens, who obviously have an incredible record on the road. Now, they're a tough opponent to come up against at the best of times, but away from their North London home, they actually have the best record in the league. They have scored a whopping 38 tries, but it's not all rosy for the women in black, because they've also got the record for the most tries conceded in the top 4 when they're playing away from home.
I know Richmond might be lurking near the bottom end of the table, but they are a fierce competitor when you take them on, and I've experienced that firsthand. They've got great quality of players of Laura Capo, Liva Povey, and also Abby Chamberlain, just to name a few. But one player that will cause absolute havoc for this Saracen side will be Rowena Burnfield. She is an absolute nose to play against. She covers every bit of grass and works relentlessly for her side, so keep a look out for her.
Now, usually at this point, I would be talking about the likes of Marley Packer, Vicky Fleetwood, Mackenzie Carson, and both the Cleos. But between injuries and international duty, they actually don't make it into the starting 15. But all is not lost because, as we all know, Saracens have an incredible squad, and the depth in their squad is very impressive. So let's think of the main act that we've got in the starting lineup today. We have got the likes of the Rocky Clark, Sonia Green, Captain Lottie Clapp, and of course Hannah Bottoman comes back from international duty. If that's not enough for you, then we can look at the bench, because they can call on the likes of Zoe Harrison and both of the Cleos, as Brian is finally back from injury. So there's absolutely no worries from me about what sort of quality Saracens can put on display for us today.
So I guess the £1 million question is, how can Richmond beat Saracens? Well, look, first and foremost, it is going to be a real tough ask, but what they have to try and do is they have to look after the ball well when they've got it, and they've got to starve Saracens of possession. They're a great team when they've got the ball and they're on front foot, so if they can negate any of that, then they're in for a shot.
There is also the added incentive for Saracens today that if they win, they will leapfrog Rachel's own Harlequins to top spot in the table. Rachel, having played for club and country, you obviously know this very well, but how will both teams be affected by the international break, and will it affect the way that they line up today?
I think you've got to realise that even though there is an international break, training is still going on as normal. There might be a couple of sessions that clubs might give their players off, but players are still in clubs, still working hard, and actually it gives an opportunity to look at some real detail and stuff. So both teams will be well prepared. Then you look at the other side of it, international players being away. They're playing at now and training at a higher intensity, higher level. So when they come back into club, actually they add more value and they bring the standards up. So, you know, the likes of today bringing in their internationals back from Saracens, you know, all that's going to do is lift the team.
And there's a lot of them, aren't there, back in the Saracens squad for today?
Yeah, there is. I mean, they've got a hell of a stacked bench that's going to be coming off. You know, Poppy Cleal, Bryony Cleal also back. Would be really exciting to see her.
Yeah.
Zoe Harrison, Vicky Fleetwood. I mean, it's endless and it's going to be pretty difficult.
So today is the first show that we've had since the RFU announced their re-tendering process, and as we know, Saracens are guaranteed a spot next year, but Richmond obviously aren't. Rachel, how could that affect the team today, and will it have affected morale within the camp?
Yeah, look, I think all the teams that have fallen outside that top six will be disappointed, and they'll be looking forward to how they can rebuild and re-tender. But I think, you know, most players will have first thoughts on the job that they've got in hand, which is playing today, playing at home, which is extremely proud for them. So they'll be mainly focused on that. I think, you know, it will be in the back of their mind slightly, but being the players that they are, they'll just want to come out here, do a job and let their rugby do the talking.
And we know that Saracens' eyes and mind will firmly be on the title at the moment, because they could go top spot and overtake Quins, who of course are top at the moment, but they've had a game in hand.
Yeah, I mean, that could all change today. So let's have a look at those two teams now.
It's a tall task for Mike Panaho's side if they are expected to put a stop to Saracens' title charge, but he's picked an exciting 15 who he's hoping will do the job. The Richmond forward pack welcomes back skipper Rowena Burnfield from England camp, and she'll make up a strong front five which includes props Laura Capo and Hannah Luft. Flanker Rebecca Ball is called up from the development squad to feature in the back row, and there's also starts for England Talent Development Group representative Rosie Dobson, Fiona McIntosh and Sadia Kabea. In the backs, Freya Auckland regains the 9 jersey and partners with Abby Chamberlain at 10. The centre combo features another exciting talent in Samantha Wharton alongside returning vice-captain Georgia Gray. In the back three, further changes with Maya Dorr, Kirsty Lee Griffins and Louise Burgess getting their chances to impress.
In an unexpected move from Alex Osterberry, he's named an experienced side today as they aim to make it 12 wins from 12. That means Hannah Bottoman switches the white of England to the black of Saracens to partner May Campbell and Rocky Clark in the front row. Alex Ellis is pushed backwards to lock, which means Sonia Green is also pushed back as she partners Kat Evans and Scotland's Jodie Retty in the back row. Lisa Martin shifts from 12 to 10 and allows Anya Staunton to start alongside Chantel Mill. As we said, Sarah McKenna plays despite her duties in the national side, and the biggest news is the bench. Zoe Harrison, Vicky Fleetwood, Hannah Casey and Poppy Cleal are all names we may expect to start or be rested as we are in the middle of the Six Nation, but they're here and they're ready to play, as of course is Bryony Cleal, who laces up for the first time in over a year. Now we hand over to Johnny Hammond, who's going to take us through the match.
Abby Chamberlain gets this rearranged fixture underway. Early mistake for the champions. Richmond driving, trying to go around those fringes. Burnfield back from England duty, back on the score sheet. Roe Burnfield, first try of the game to Richmond. Chamberlain keeping it low, keeping it direct. Saracens scrum is powerful as ever. Bottoman, of course, on that tight side. Penalty coming. They won't need it. Jodie Rettier responds for the champions. So much power. Lisa Martin's been excellent all season. Grabs another 2. Morrissey using the heavy forwards. That's what the conditions dictate. Bottoman through the first. Lovely offload. Campbell. May Campbell with the step. She's just held up. There's numbers on the left-hand side. Richmond see that and fan out. It goes on the right-hand side. Lisa Martin, it's a walk-in for Rocky Clark. Try scorer. Now ball holder upper. Rocky Clark holding it for Lisa Martin. It's the full 7 points again. And there is half-time. Much tighter than most would have thought. 14-7 to Saracens. Lisa Martin. It's the second period underway. Another powerful scrum for Saracens. Flopping over again, it's Alex Ellis underneath the bottom of that pile. Again, Lisa Martin with the extra two. Ellis, the try scorer, gaining some yards now. Saracens getting a grip firmly on this game. Morrissey, another heavy ball carrier. Here's another Bottoman, skipping through. Hannah Bottoman does what she does best. Faultless, absolutely faultless. Here come the cavalry. Bridie Cleal, great to see her back after a year out. From a Saracens perspective, from an England perspective. Bridie Cleal goes in to clear things out. Alex Ellis. Martin is in there at scrum half. Zoe Harrison. Feeding another runner. Just keep coming again, Saracens. This time round the side. Again they try on that short side and they're over. Referees awarded it. Looks like it's Vicky Fleetwood. Two more points for Lisa Martin, two more for Saracens. Sonia Green plays scrum half and still the runners come. Ellis, she's been working tirelessly all afternoon. Cleal. Zoe Harrison has a snipe herself. Harrison, Hannah Casey is there to make sure the ball comes back on the Saracen side. Few more meters. Poppy Cleal bursts through. It's another try for Saracens. Lisa Martin right in front of the post. She doesn't miss from there. There's the final whistle. It's 12 from 12 from Saracens. Another bonus point win today in this rearranged fixture over Richmond. Final score, Saracens 42, Richmond 7.
Okay, Bryony Cleal, welcome back to playing. I bet you're quite happy that there's a game in the middle of Six Nations. I mean, how does it feel to be back?
Obviously, yeah, it feels great. I thought, what was it, Storm Dennis, Daniel, whatever. Dennis. Storm Dennis was gonna rain on my parade, but it did rain on my parade quite literally. However, I got through the game, and we all did, and yeah, we've got a little game in there, so I'm pleased to get that first 20 out of the way.
And it's been a long time for you, hasn't it, coming back from injury? I mean, you've had some ups and downs, but getting out here today, but also coming away with a win, how important was that for Saracens?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, these are like the slip-up games. It got rearranged. There was speculation yesterday when the game was going to be, where it was going to be. So to get out here and then like get the win behind us and get that bonus point and just keep the season rolling. I mean, we're only part way through the season, but if we'd slipped up today, it kind of leaves the door open for Quinns to hop back over us.
Yeah, so that has taken you to the top of the table. Pains me to say, but well done on that. I mean, but Richmond did rattle you in the first half. Were there something said at half time to come and bring out and bring a different performance in the second half?
Richmond here are always a tricky team. Like, this is their home ground. They're quite like a family team. So when you come here, you're like entering their battle zone, and they don't want to lose to anyone. So to come out here, and I mean, we went 7-0 down, but for the girls to come kind of change that first half and then come out second half at half time, Alex just said like, I'm not gonna, you know how it's going. We kind of said it to each other, and he was like, I've listened to the conversations and they're good conversations, and you know what you're doing, and you know how well you can perform. So just go out there and show us what we can do. I think it's just a lot of like coming out and prove and showing everyone like how well we can play. And you know what, we are a physical team. Just be dominant, and we'll get there.
Yeah, and there has been a bit of disruption. Obviously, some players have been away for international duty. Then you've got Storm Dennis involved as well. But really good victory for you guys today, and it's really good for not only Saracens but for England that you're back on the pitch.
Thank you.
Rocky, another sterling performance from yourself. Are there any specific words that you could use to describe not only your performance but Saracens today?
Yeah, we were dogged in the second half. Like Richmond came at us first 5 minutes, so we knew we had to be more clinical. A few errors in the first half that we had to put to bed, and we just took it to a really physical game plan in the second half. And I really enjoyed it as a prop. And I see the rain, I get excited about it. It means that I get loads of carries, so I was happy.
And it took Saracens a bit of a time to get into what felt like second gear at the start of the game. Is that anything to do with the fact that it's 6 weeks after this game should have been played?
Yeah, it's a long time since we should have been playing this fixture, but obviously Storm Dennis the Menace has played his part. So yeah, I think we forced a little bit too much, and we needed to just tuck it up our jumpers, and that's what we did in the second half.
So you were still missing a few key players as well today through injuries and internationals, but you had the likes of Bryony making a comeback. What did that mean for the team?
I'm buzzing for Bri to come back, because I've done a lot of scrum work with her over the last few weeks, and it's great to see her back. And you saw her carries early on. She got some really good front foot carries, and made an impact. So it's great to have her and Poppy back.
And obviously you're now sitting pretty at the top of the table, overtaking Quinns. What does that mean to Saracens?
Yeah, we're really happy with that. So it's two teams that have been fighting it out for years. So happy days. We got the upper hand at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. And Rocky, congratulations. You are, of course, the Women's Rugby Show and Rocket RFC Player of the Match. So here is your little number to celebrate. Keep yourself warm with that.
Fabulous. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Say what you want about international rugby, Bex. I mean, as exciting as the Women's Six Nations is, today's Premier 15's game has given us plenty to chew on.
No doubt. But be honest, Rachel, were you rooting for Richmond? Yeah, well, we got our answer, I think, on that one, haven't we? So, as the professional that you are, could you give us a bit debrief on the game as you saw it?
Yeah, look, I think irrelevant of the score, Richmond came out and put probably one of their best defensive performances. The amount of pressure they put Saracens under, the amount of turnovers, I'd love to know the stats for that, because they put them under an immense amount of pressure, and Saracens don't like that. So I think for them to keep it on for 80 minutes all the way to the end was really, really good for them. But I think Saracens, they found a way, they worked things out. They obviously had the cavalry coming on from the bench, which was a star-studded lineup from international duty. But yeah, as you probably expected, Saracens to win that game, but plenty of heart and plenty of spirit from that Richmond side, which is great to see, considering the tender what's come out recently and those kind of things. So it's great to see them. Definitely one of their best performances, I'd say, but obviously a world-class performance from Saracens as well.
Well, I couldn't have put that better myself, and that is not because I'm the professional. But unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of the episode, and we won't be back until the Premier 15 is back in action.
Actually, you're wrong, because there's going to be a bonus episode for the England versus Wales game, and if you want to get involved, you need to do this.
Well, if you want even more rugby action, there is the Women's Rugby Pod featuring our very own Miss Burford, and of course our smooth talking man on the mic, Johnny Hammond. Now, where can viewers and fans get involved in that?
All your usual platforms, so Spotify, SoundCloud, iTunes. Get involved, have a listen.
Oh, absolutely. Can't get enough women's rugby, can you? And so one more thing before we wrap up for today. Don't forget to check out our sponsors, Rugget RFC's attire. They've got some absolutely smashing stuff. I think you've been eyeing up a bit of it, haven't you, today, Rach? But if you have a look on their website and put in the Women's Rugby Show, you do get a cheeky discount on that.
And I think that for today is a wrap.
Oh, I could get used to this.
Yeah. So should we swap jobs? I'll go and play for Quins and you do this? Or?
Well, I mean, you did just see Bryony Cleo, Poppy Cleo, like Sarah Byrne running.
Yeah, I'm good actually, as I am for now. So we'll stick with this.
Okay.
Yeah.